And hello and welcome to the How to Love Being Married podcast with Paul and
Shelly.
Hello, Shelly.
Hi, babe.
I was going to say, please welcome the most beautiful girl in the world.
Oh, boy.
Should we start over?
Why?
Because I didn't introduce you quite right.
Let's introduce you as the hottest man alive.
Yeah, we know you're lying there.
No, it's true. It's how I feel.
So it's Halloween week, right? Spooky.
Spooky.
And we were talking about during COVID the things that you wouldn't try to do now. And one of those was bobbing for apples.
Oh, God. Yeah. That was a really bad thing that we used to do when we were younger.
We did that all the time as kids. We'd bob for apples. You'd fill, and for all those that have never done that, you fill a barrel of with water and throw apples in there, and then you stick your head in there and try and grab an apple with your mouth.
No hands.
Who came up with that?
And then the next person tries.
Okay, it's your turn. I guess you're okay if you're the first one in, right?
Right.
Then it's fine.
Yeah. I don't even remember thinking about that when I was little. Do you?
There was no such thing as germs.
There weren't any.
Probably best that we didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we think about it too much.
No, I don't think so.
I guess
think
you
we need to
throw
know.
the apples in some hand sanitizer and bob around for those,
Ew.
right? Would that clean it off good enough?
You'd die.
Like, I feel a little weird. So our granddaughter, she said something today. You want to tell them
so
about
cute.
that one?
So we get a text from Marissa, and she says that her husband David said to her, "I like being around you." And Avery heard her dad say that he likes being around her mom, and Avery said, "I like being around Bappa and Gamma."
We spoil them rotten.
And do you think we liked that?
Yes, we do.
We eat it
Of course. Well, I liked what she said, I don't know, a week ago or so when she was over. She looks, Shelly just cleaned out the vacuum. What do you call that stuff in the vacuum?
All of the lint and hairs.
Vacuum
and
garbage.
Yeah.
And usually, we'll say what she said. She opens up our garbage and she says, "Bappa's hair? Look just like my hair. My hair or vacuum garbage? Which could it be, right?" Indistinguishable to a 3-year-old, apparently.
Yeah.
So I was calling to get some. I won't say who I was calling because I don't want to say how bad their customer service is, but I was calling about some glasses, and there was a problem with them, so I sent them back, and they I've been trying to get a hold of where did they go? They've disappeared.
And it's been how many months?
It's been about 2 months since I sent them in.
I bet it's been longer than that.
Yeah, maybe, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
And every time it's like, well, we'll have somebody reach out to you in the next 12 to 24 hours, and then nothing. I'm checking my spam filter, seeing if it went into spam. Nothing. So I'll call them back. And every time I get that music, "Your call is very important to us. Please hold." And then they play some really lousy music. Have you ever noticed that? Who picks
Hold
that
music
out?
is always lousy.
It's like, okay, this is your business. We want you to have the best customer service ever. We're going to give you the choice of 3 bad tunes. And you not only hear it once, about halfway through, the thing kicks and starts playing the same thing all over.
Mm-hmm.
Or it phases in and out. You get...
And it seems like since COVID happened, have you noticed that hold times are even longer?
Please hold.
Like
Somebody will be with you in the next 90 minutes.
Seriously, like you can be on hold for a half hour, can't you?
Yeah, that one day it was at least a half an hour, and I just put my ear pods on and I just listened to the lousy music over and over. I could probably hum the song now, but I won't bore everybody with that.
Yeah, we're not interested.
So anyway, I'm sure everybody's had those kind of experiences. And your eye drop story was pretty funny.
I asked him, I said, "Do you have any funny stories today?" And he said he had a whole bunch.
I
I was
have a
like, "Oh, I
pile.
can't
You
wait to
just keep
hear.
track of things that happen
I
every
can't wait
day,
to
and
hear.
that's what
Tell me,
happens.
but I know what you're going to say
So
now.
yeah, so Shelly says my eyes are kind of bothering me. Do you
Burning.
have some eye drops? And we've had a lot of fires in, well, I think California, right? Most of it is blowing smoke from California. We've had a few in our area, but we get bothers your eyes. So I'm putting these drops in her eyes, and she's like, blink. I was like, you gotta keep these open. Gotta keep the eyes open. But you remind me of our kids when they're little, trying to put eye drops in their eye. Like, oh.
But do you remember what you said the other day when I said, "Paul, would you mind putting some drops in my eyes?" And you said, "Only if you," what did you
Open
say?
them?
No, only if you.
I don't remember. What did I say?
Only if you'll squint or.
Oh, only if you squint and keep your eyes closed.
Yeah.
When I do that. Yeah.
It's like done.
She's like, will you pry them open for me? And it's like, I need another hand here. I need one to.
I'm just like Tyler, our son Tyler. He's always been like that too.
Yeah, it's like,
Guess he gets it from me.
I don't want to put eye drops in there too. It feels so much like water.
It burns.
It burns.
It stings.
Yeah, pretty funny stuff. So today we're talking about a subject about don't try and change your spouse. And I think this is an important one because we can influence our spouse, definitely.
Right.
But we can't change our spouse. The only one that we can change is us, right? We can only change ourselves, but we can influence others, but we can't change anyone. That's evident, right?
Yes. And if you think about it, before you were married, you didn't want to change anything about your fiance, right?
Exactly. You married them because of who they are.
You loved everything.
And it didn't matter what they
them.
did, it was okay. And usually when you marry them, don't you marry the flaws?
Yeah, you do.
I don't know what yours are, but
I don't think that people change that much after you get married. Maybe some people do. But probably
typically it's whoever.
If you date for a while, then you should get to know and see the goods and the bads in the other person, right?
Exactly.
You don't have any bads. I'm just lucky.
Well, we know that's not true. But so anyway, I was listening to some other podcasts trying to get a couple ideas for this podcast. And I thought, well, what could I share? What could I share? And I thought about you, for instance. Well, I think one of the podcasts, I'll read the quote. And he said, whatever you do, you should do it to put your spouse at ease. And I think that's the takeaway, is that we can, whatever we do, we should try to do things that will put our spouse at ease.
Mm-hmm.
Because you want to try and do good for your spouse, correct? You want them to be happy. It's not all about you. So don't attack them? So don't attack them, even though they do. You know, I leave my shoes around or whatever, and I try not to do that. Did I put them away? Nope. Don't look back.
Oh,
don't
there's
look
only
back.
2 pair right now.
Yep. And well, that's because I have my slippers on. That's why there's only 2 pairs back there. If I didn't have my slippers on, there'd be 3. So I'll have to put them back there in a minute. But that is one of my flaws. I don't know. I want my shoes close, and that's always been kind of a flaw of mine. But I need to do better, don't I?
To be really honest, Paul, most of the times when I even notice that is when you point it out.
Oh,
so.
Okay. Don't look back, as they say, that song. Don't look back. And before we get into this too far, there's a quote, and I think it kind of goes along with this. I heard this quote from Phil Collins, and the quote was, "You can only be young once, but you can always be immature regardless of your age." I thought that was a really cool quote. Because you can only be young once. We all get old, right? But you can be immature for the rest of your life.
Yeah, we've seen it in, certain people we know.
So it happens, right?
They're not very grown up.
Exactly. But getting back into this topic about not wanting to change your spouse, or don't try to change your spouse, or don't try to make them
at ease.
Yeah, putting them at ease. So we married our spouse for who they are, and you can't change your spouse and make them a cat a dog or a dog a cat. They are who they are, and you can try and change them, but it doesn't make them different. They're still, a dog is still a dog, a cat is still a cat.
Yes.
Even if you want to try and teach them or to be, a dog a cat, for instance. So same as with your spouse, because you're trying to change them into something else doesn't make them different, does it?
No.
But we can influence them.
But I liked the way that you were talking early, like yesterday you were talking to me about this, and you were talking about how to put your spouse at ease with trying to influence them. Maybe you're going to go into that.
Yeah, and so if, for instance, one of the things that I'd listened to, the lady was talking about how her husband took her car and brought it back with no gas in it.
Okay.
And she got in to drive it the next day and realized there's no gas in her car, and it really ticked her off. And I don't even remember what she did, but the takeaway was how you react to that situation. Because typically you'd say, well, why did you leave my tank empty and take off with my tank full and bring it back empty? Why did you do that? And just being very attacking, right?
Yeah.
But instead of being attacking, if you say it in a way, this made me feel this way. It really made me feel bad that you took my car and brought it back empty. I felt bad about that. And that way you put the feelings on you instead of them.
Okay.
And on the flip side of that, and I thought about that specific situation because you've told me, you said, I hate filling up the car.
Yeah, and I told you I don't ever want to fill up the car or the mower the rest of my life.
So she told me how she feels. She said, I really don't like that. I really hate that. She told about how much she hates that. And the takeaway is, dummy, keep the gas tanks full, right? You didn't say that.
No.
And you didn't mean it that way.
Heavens no.
But yet, it made me think, I don't want to leave the tanks empty.
And you never do. Like, I don't ever have to fill up gas.
So I try to keep gas in the car.
You're so kind.
Well,
Thanks,
I'm not trying to get kudos here. I'm just saying that's the takeaway that I had. And I think if we phrase it differently, your spouse want to, instead of her saying, why are you leaving these stupid shoes around laying on the floor again? Say, what could you say?
Well, I think like you said yesterday that you said that something that you really like is that I tell you how much I appreciate not having to fill up the cars. So you can appreciate your spouse for what they do. And if you can appreciate them enough, then...
So whatever it is, maybe say, I appreciate you putting your shoes away. Or maybe...
Oh my goodness, your office looks so good.
Or maybe your husband's a workaholic or too busy in their hobbies or whatever it is. You could say, I sure love it when you take time and spend time with me. That would go over a whole lot better, don't you think?
I do. Yeah, I thought that was interesting because you told me yesterday how much you like being appreciated when I tell you how much I appreciate you for keeping the gas tanks full or keeping the car so clean or taking care of the lawn, whatever it is. And you always appreciate me as well. I think that praise,
just like when you're a little kid, think of when you were a little kid or you have little kids, when you brag about them. Oh, I just loved it when you made your bed today.
Yeah.
Your kid's going to want to make their bed every day.
Yeah. Appreciation and praise does go a long way.
I'm not saying treat your spouse like a 2-year-old.
No, but you don't have to be 2 to appreciate being appreciated.
Correct.
We all like praise.
Everybody does.
Yeah. Doesn't matter how old you are.
So praise your spouse for the things that they're doing and say, and rephrase it instead of being attacking, being praising of them.
Yeah.
for
and
those things.
it kind of reminds me of what Pat Sorensen said on our podcast last week. Was she said that, if your spouse isn't doing something that you want them to do, write them a cute little note. Or, rather than being attacking, there are kinder ways to put your spouse at ease, but let them know what you would love for them to do or appreciate them doing, right, Paul?
And with your putting your spouse at ease, when maybe there's something that you can tell makes them a little jumpy, or maybe they won't be able to sleep. For instance, you love to keep our checkbook, and they don't call it a checkbook, but you have a spreadsheet now that you keep
that
our
Austin
finances.
put together for me. It's amazing, and Kyle has done some upkeep for me too.
And you do a great job of our finances. You do fantastic. I don't do very good that way because you take care of it and you do a fantastic job.
Can't really have two of you, I don't think, doing it.
But one thing I've learned over the years is that to keep you at ease, that you like to keep that updated. Sometimes even more than once a day.
I know. Yeah. But I have some OCDs. You know that.
I do. And I have some OCDs. So I think all of us do. I think everyone does, don't they? I don't think it's just you and me.
So yeah, I bet you're right.
I think we all do. We have some idiosyncrasies, if you want to call them, OCDs,
ACDCs.
ACDCs. Exactly. Yeah, and sometimes we want to, for those about to rock, we salute you, right? Yeah, exactly.
No, but it's true. Like certain things, at least for me, and maybe there are other people out there like this, there are certain things that if I just don't take care of them right away, then it will bother me. And so you could say, Shelley, please, can you do that tomorrow? But
and I have said that before. Yeah. Just do it tomorrow. It's not going to go anywhere. It won't change a thing. Just wait till tomorrow. But I've learned.
And what do I say? But Paul, it will bother me.
It will bother you. So instead of
fighting me on it,
calling her names and making her feel like trash,
making me feel stupid or like there's something wrong with me, you accept me for who I am.
I accept her, and I know that she has some OCD there, which is a good thing in the long run. But I'll say, Shelley, go ahead and do that now. And she'll go put it in,
really
and then
do.
we're on
with our lives. You have learned that about me, and you don't really ask me to not do it anymore, do you? Because it's just futile.
No, but there's things I do. I do certain things too. I know you.
Gosh, if
I
could think of anything.
Well, I like to mow the lawn, get it mowed a couple times a week in the summer. I like to keep the cars clean.
Very clean.
You'll have other things and you'll go, they're clean enough. But for me, it's just something I do, right? It's my OCD.
Yeah.
Kicking in.
It's important to
But you're like that in the house. I'll say, she'll be out vacuuming. I'm going, I can't even tell. Why are you vacuuming? It doesn't need it.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons it doesn't really get dirty, we don't have kids here most of the time, so
it's just the two of us.
Yeah.
But I think that's the thing. Like, we need to respect each other's differences and appreciate each other's differences and find the positives in each other. Really.
And there's things that are triggers for other. We talked about putting each other at ease. There's things maybe that are fears of yours or fears of mine. And if you bring up those things or say it in a way, it could trigger things in your head, maybe past experiences that are challenging for you.
Hurtful or something.
Or even hurtful. And they may not make any sense to me at all. I'm thinking, just deal with it.
Right.
Just deal with it. It's not a big deal to me. It shouldn't be a big deal to you. But that's part of understanding your spouse, is knowing what are the things, maybe past events or things that have happened in your life that cause you to not be at ease. And I put you at ease, and I know that those things are going to cause a trigger for you and cause you some
anxiety. Make me feel hurt, make me feel unappreciated, make me feel stupid. You don't want to make your spouse feel that way.
And I think we all have anxieties, don't we?
Yeah.
So we have to think of those things. And how do I put my spouse at ease? I love that concept.
I really like that too. That's good.
Anyway, those are the things we've talked about not, or have thought about this week is what can we do to not change our spouse? So the takeaway are the things that we should take away from this podcast. What can we do? We can influence our spouse. We can't change them. They can change. They're the only ones that can change, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we can influence them. But we can praise them. We can give them praise for those times that they do certain things to help us. And if they're a good father,
I
good
think we
husband.
need to have our eyes open to the positives and sometimes maybe halfway shut for the negatives. We shouldn't be picking our spouse apart.
And maybe if your husband's maybe spending too much with their hobby or whatever it might be, you could say, hey, I love that you love the great outdoors or whatever it is. I love that you I did RC stuff for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that you do RC planes. That's pretty cool. Or I love home automation right now. I love that you do home automation. And she didn't see the value in it. Now you do. But
I love it. Yeah.
But you bring up, hey, I really love this part of it, but I need you. I really appreciate it when you do this.
Yeah.
It makes me feel loved and needed and cherished.
Yeah. When you appreciate me and want to spend time with me.
But if you get naggy, that doesn't do it. Nobody loves to be nagged, do they?
I don't know anybody that likes to be nagged. I don't know anybody that likes to be picked apart. I don't know anyone that likes to be belittled.
No. So if you're doing those belittling, nitpicking, then think what can I do myself? Maybe the change needs to come within me and not my spouse.
Right.
But we all can do better.
Yeah.
You make me want to be better.
You make me want to be better.
So anyway, and then put your spouse at ease.
I really like that.
Love that.
I really like that because I mean, I think about again what Pat said. She said our spouses are not mind readers. So there are things that have to be talked about, but we can put our spouse at ease when we talk about things.
And when you're attacking, that doesn't put your spouse at ease.
No.
So if there's something that's bothering you and getting on your nerves, think about how do I turn this around as a positive and do it in a way that you say, it makes me feel this way instead of being attacking.
Yeah. You share your feelings of how it makes you feel.
Or if you can even turn it into a way that makes your spouse feel loved and needed. Like, I really love when you spend time with me, honey.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me feel loved. It makes me feel needed. Mm-hmm. Instead of being attacking.
Yes.
Anything else? Nothing at all?
I can't think of anything, but I do, I really do think that appreciation goes a long ways.
It does.
I mean, I look at me being a stay-home mom and raising our kids, and I didn't work outside the home. But you never belittled me. Instead, you appreciated me and told me how much you appreciated what I did. And that built my self-esteem up. If you're not appreciative, if you are belittling, you're actually tearing down your spouse's self-esteem.
And if I just did that day after day after day, you couldn't get a job anyway because we had 5 kids at the time.
Right.
Somebody would have to have taken care of the kids.
Right.
But you did an amazing job of taking care of the house, and I appreciated that.
Yeah, I know you did. You always did. And I appreciated you working so hard.
And I think saying that, I'm not trying to use psycho warfare or anything on you, but you did. You took care of the house. I think.
But when you're appreciated, you want to do more of what you're being appreciated for.
And when you said, I appreciate you going to work, I could do it one more time. I can get through this next day. One more day.
Well, I've been thinking this week, I know this isn't about changing your spouse, but just a little tip for all the men out there. I just don't think it's fair for the breadwinner, whoever that is in the family, to feel like all they have to do is make money. And when they get home, they're done. Their job is done, right?
I worked. Now you take care of the kids 24/7.
You did 10-hour days. You woke up at 4:40 every morning, or 4:30 or whatever, every morning, Monday through Thursday, because he does 4 10s. And he would get home. He would go early. You went early in the morning so that you could get home earlier, so that you could spend time with me and our kids. And when
that was important to me. I wanted to spend time with the kids.
I know, and I love that. But not only did you, so when you got home, you did not think that you were all done with your work day. You immediately jumped in and helped me with mine. And I'm sorry, but you know what? A woman works super hard.
They do. I mean, you would go to a camp or something and I'd be stuck with the kids. I say stuck because for a whole week, I felt stuck with the kids.
Exactly.
They're a lot of work.
And when you got home, I didn't go, they're yours. And so I went in the other room. I never did that.
We ganged up on them together.
We did it together. We are a partnership. We do everything together and for the good of our family.
And when you work, don't you think if you're working as a team, you work as a team because you are a team.
Yeah. And, in the Bible, it says that that woman was made. I was telling you this the other day because a guy in our ward gave a really good lesson about this. But in the Bible, it says that Eve, the woman, was formed from the rib of Adam or whatever, from his side. And I think that's figurative, but this teacher said that the way he imagined that is it was from the man's side, because a man and woman are supposed to be side by side. The man isn't ahead of the woman isn't ahead of the man, but you're partners and you're side by side going through life together. That I love that.
Yeah, we're the Seeger Corporation and we do it together.
We do.
We still work as a team.
We are a team. Yes.
And you're working now, and 1 week you're working 18-hour days. And
yeah.
I tried to do some laundry and some other things that I don't normally do. So sorry about the pink whites.
And you cleaned the toilets, remember?
I do. My hands are still all weird from that.
I guess that's just my little tidbit there, is that, at the end of your work day, that to me, that doesn't mean that you're finished, because you continue on. You continue helping your spouse.
And your job doesn't ever finish as a parent. It keeps going.
Yeah,
it never ends.
It does. So don't try to change your spouse, but appreciate your spouse and work together.
And tell them thank you for the things that they're doing. Even if you're frustrated, tell them how grateful and thankful you are for what they're doing.
It's like what your mom used to tell you. Sometimes she had to come up with, oh, your ceiling is so clean. If that's what you have to do, find something to appreciate them about.
Yep. Does my ceiling look clean in my office? I'm waiting for a compliment.
It does. Actually, your office is very clean.
Well,
this man is the best.
She is the best. Anyway, I hope your spouse is the best for you.
Yeah, love them.
Marriage can be so much happier if you put one another first. So the call to action this week is put your spouse at ease and be nice this week. Love them. Take responsibility for your own self and don't be negative towards your spouse.
Don't nitpick.
And we hope you love being married.